Welcome to Mission Foods. In this program, we will introduce you to your Intermec 700 mobile computer and its companion printer. Our goal is to give you a basic overview of their features and functions and demonstrate their use in running your business on a day-to-day basis. To illustrate, we will follow a mission route salesman on a typical day's run. You'll see not only when and how to use these devices, but how to take care of them too. Again, this is a basic overview. For complete details, consult your manual. Let's start by asking a basic question. What are these devices for? The computer is your most important business tool. Basically, it stores information on your products and customers, keeps track of your inventory, and generates invoices. At the end of the day, the computer lets you place your next order, close out the day and produce a settlement report, and transmit all your sales information to Mission Foods, as well as receive updated product information. The printer is used to print out invoices along with various lists and reports. Let's get acquainted with their basic operation. The Intermec 700 has a color touch screen and a keyboard. The touch screen displays menus of different functions. To choose a function, tap the appropriate box with a stylus that comes with your computer. The keyboard is used to enter information such as product codes and quantities. The Action key serves the same purpose as the Enter key on a regular personal computer. Press it to tell the computer to carry out a command or to accept information. The Up and Down keys are used to scroll up or down through a list. Pressing the Alpha key activates the keyboard's alternate functions, such as letters instead of numbers. However, the Mission Foods operating system does not recognize alphabet characters, so this function is not normally used. If you find that the computer is not accepting input from the keyboard, check to see if the keyboard is in alpha mode, as is indicated by this red light. Simply push the alpha key to return the keyboard to the normal numeric mode. Now, let's take a look at the printer. The PW40 workboard printer is light, rugged, and very easy to use. It was designed specifically to hold the Intermec 700 computer. Both devices are so light they can be carried as a single unit. To connect the computer to the printer, simply slide the device into the cradle until it catches. To remove the computer, pull it slightly forward and out. Be sure to grasp the computer by its body, not by its antenna. When the computer is in the cradle, it can communicate with the printer through the serial port in the base of the cradle, which mates with the matching connector on the bottom of the computer. This same connection also allows the printer to route power to the computer. When the printer is plugged into an external source of AC or DC, it will charge the computer's batteries. The computer and printer can also communicate through their built-in Bluetooth wireless interface. The Bluetooth interface has a reliable range of 30 feet. This allows you to print out invoices as you move from one department to another. The PW40 is a thermal printer. That means that there is no ink ribbon to replace. It uses a roll of 4-inch wide thermal paper. A roll will usually last about 4 days. When it's time to put in a new roll, pull the lever to open the paper guide. Release the two black tabs on either side of the paper spool and pull it out. Drop in the new roll of paper, feed it under the rubber roller, close the paper guide, and use the thumb wheel to advance the paper to the print head. That's all there is to it. To test the printer, press and hold the red button. The computer will automatically print out a configuration report. The computer and the printer both depend on battery power. Always charge the batteries overnight to make sure they have plenty of juice for the next day. To charge the computer, set it in its charging cradle and plug the cradle into a standard household outlet. Check to make sure the power light on the computer's keyboard is lit, indicating that the power is being supplied. To charge the printer, simply plug its AC power cord into the wall. The red light indicates that the unit is charging. The green light shows that it is fully charged. As you drive your route, we strongly recommend that you keep the computer docked with the printer and keep the printer plugged into the truck's cigarette lighter or DC power port. This will ensure that the computer remains charged throughout the day. Now, let's follow our route salesman through a typical day to demonstrate how you will use these tools to manage your business. To activate the computer, press the yellow on-off key. The first screen that comes up is the splash screen. Tap OK. The computer next brings up the main menu. Since this is the beginning of the day, tap the Start of Day option. The computer brings up a screen displaying your name and route number along with the time and date. Check to make sure that this information is correct. If it's not, all of your invoices and records will be incorrect. Consult your Mission Foods Handheld Computer User's Guide for the steps needed to correct this information. Now, key in your 6-digit SAP account number and tap OK to enter it, and OK again to accept it. If you've entered the code correctly, the computer returns to the main menu. The next thing to do is run a printout of your inventory and some other reports you'll find useful. From the main menu, select List. This gives you a choice of several reports that you can print out at any time. Quantity on hand, all products, all customers, and promotions. You can't sell a product you don't have on hand, so the computer maintains a running inventory of all the products on your truck. Since you want to start your day knowing what you have on hand, you'll want to print the Quantity on Hand report. To do that, select Quantity on Hand. As you know, the computer and printer do not have to physically be connected to run a printout. As a new distributor, you will also need a quick reference to all Mission products and their product codes. To print this list, select All Products. You'll find it handy to have a list of all of your customers on your route too. To print this list, select All Customers. The Promotions report lists all the products being promoted through a discount. It shows how much discount each customer gets, plus the start and stop dates for each promotion. Those are the preliminaries. Now it's time to load your truck. You cannot simply put products in your truck. You must put them in your computer too. Otherwise, the computer cannot maintain accurate sales and inventory information. From the main menu, select the Load function. This takes you to your Inventory menu. To add products to your inventory, select Load Product. This takes you to the Load Vehicle screen. Notice that the screen is blank. You can key the code number for the product you want directly into the product number window, or you can tap the All Products button to bring up a list of the products and codes. Scroll through the list using the up and down arrows. When you find the item you want, tap it to highlight it. Then tap the Cases window and key in the quantity you want. Remember, at the warehouse, quantity is always in cases. To finish, tap Accept. The computer will print a load sheet, then ask you if the report is okay. If it is, tap Yes. The computer adds the new load information to its inventory memory. Notice that there is a signature line on the load printout. This is where you sign your name to verify that you have accepted the load. The signature line is also proof that the load has been accepted into the computer's inventory. It is important to understand that the computer will not store information unless you give it the Accept command. If you exit the Load function before accepting the load, the computer will lose your load information. After accepting the new load, the computer returns to the Inventory menu. If you have already placed an order for the product, the load process is slightly different. The computer will go into the Load Selection screen, which shows you that you have an order ready for this day. Tap the Load for the day, then tap Select. This takes you to the Load Vehicle screen, which displays the items contained in this load. Check your pallet against the list. If the load is correct, follow the same steps to accept it. Let's say that a stack fell over in your truck and some fresh product was damaged. You cannot sell it, so you must unload it, not only from your truck, but from your computer's inventory. From the Inventory Control menu, select the Unload Damaged function. This will take you to the Unload Damaged screen. As you can see, it's virtually identical to the Load Vehicle screen. Key in the product code and the quantity of damaged items. Then tap Accept. The Inventory menu also gives you the option to unload fresh, undamaged, resaleable merchandise. for example, to remove unsold product from your inventory. The Transfer In function is used when you obtain product from another distributor. Transfer Out is used when you sell product to another distributor. Let's say you're buying some extra corn tortilla rounds from another distributor. You select Transfer In. It brings up a screen very much like the load menu, but notice the window at the top of the screen. Here, you must key in the route number of the distributor you're buying product from. Key in the product code and quantity as you did when loading and tap Accept. The computer will ask for your password, then print a report for your approval. The process works the same if you're selling product to another distributor. In this case, you use the Transfer Out function. Transfers between distributors are off the books as far as Mission Foods is concerned. The computer will help you keep track of them, but it will not include them in the information it transmits to the home office. With the load checked and on your truck, you're ready to go see your customers. The first is a privately owned convenience store. After you check the shelves to see what's needed, you can build a sales invoice, then pull the product from the truck. To create a sales invoice, start at the main menu and select Sales. Then from the Sales menu, select Invoice. This takes you to the Customer Selection screen, a list of all of your customers. Scroll through the list to find the one you're servicing. Tap the line to highlight the customer and tap Select. The next screen shows the departments to be serviced. Since the store does not have different departments, you simply tap Select. This brings up the Invoice main menu, showing a variety of invoice options. Sales is used to generate the basic sales invoice. Stales is used to credit a customer for any out-of-date items. Buybacks is used to create a credit invoice for items you buy back from one store to sell to another. And Damaged creates a credit invoice for damaged product. Right now, you want to build a sales invoice, so select Sales. The computer displays a blank product list. As with the load functions described earlier, you can key product codes in directly or bring up a list, select the products you need, and key in the quantities. Remember, all sales are in eaches. Then tap Accept. At this point, you can print an invoice for this customer and then pull products from the truck. So you select Finished. The Transaction Complete screen shows a summary of the transaction. Make sure it's correct, then tap OK. The computer moves on to the Print Document screen. Select Print Document and OK. If the tickets have printed properly, tap Yes. The computer returns to the Department Selection screen where you select Exit. The store's receiver must also accept the order, so the computer goes to the Customer Signature screen. Using a stylus, the receiver signs on the line provided. Tap OK. The computer prints a sales ticket for the customer's files. The computer shows the payment due from the customer. It knows that this is a cash customer, so it displays a place for you to confirm the payment. Enter the customer's check number, or 9999 if they are paying in cash, and select OK. Let's review the basic sales process again. From the main menu, select Sales. From the Sales menu, select Invoice. Select the customer you're servicing from the Customer Selection screen and the department you're going to service. From the Invoice main menu, select the Sales option to build a basic sales invoice. Select the products you're going to sell to the store. Key the quantity in eaches and tap Accept. To generate a sales invoice, select Finished and tap OK on the Transaction Complete screen. Select Print Document and OK. Last, print tickets for the store's receiver to sign. Your next stop is a major supermarket. The sales process here will involve some additional transactions. The process of building a sales invoice is the same as before. From the main menu, choose Sales, then Invoice, and select the customer. At this store, you have 3 departments to service: deli, grocery, and meat. Let's start with the deli department. You create a sales invoice for this department just as you did with the convenience store. But this time, when you finish, instead of printing the invoice, you select the Spool Document option. This feature stores the invoice in the computer in a temporary memory section called the spooler. Later, you can print all of the tickets from this store at one time. The computer returns to the department selection screen, and you select the next department to service, in this case, groceries. While stocking shelves, pay close attention to the date codes on the packages. If you find stale items, you must remove them and generate an invoice showing a credit to the customer. From the invoice main menu, select Stales. This will take you to the Stales invoice screen. From this point, the process is much the same as building a sales invoice. Key in the product code and the quantity in eaches, then tap Accept. Again, you spool this ticket to save it until you're finished in all the departments. In the grocery department, you stock the shelves and create a sales invoice just as you did in the deli department and spool it with the others. But here, you find some damaged items. Again, you must remove them and credit the store. From the invoice main menu, select Damaged and follow the same steps involved in building a sales ticket. Again, you spool the ticket instead of printing it out. The reason for this is to avoid running back and forth to the truck. It's more efficient to spool all the tickets, then print them out at one time. Moving on to the meat department, you find some product that is about to go out of date. You know that this product is selling quickly at another location, so you decide to buy it back from this store to sell it to another. Naturally, you need to create a separate invoice for this transaction. So at the invoice main menu, you choose the Buybacks option. You complete this invoice just as you have done with the others, and you spool it as well. Back at the truck, you go through the normal steps of printing an invoice. But in this case, the computer automatically prints all the invoices stored in the spooler. Some customers will require you to electronically transmit invoices to their computer. We refer to these as DEX customers. DEX is short for Data Exchange. Let's look at the DEX process. For simplicity, we'll use just one invoice from one department as an example. As before, the process begins with selecting the customer. The computer knows if a store is a DEX customer. This will also be noted on your All Customers printout. After selecting the customer, the next step is to clear the DEX file. This prevents old invoices from getting mixed up with the new one you're about to create. Tap Clear DEX File. The computer will ask, "Are you sure?" Tap Yes. The process of creating a sales invoice is the same. When you have completed it, tap Finish, then OK. Since the computer knows that this is a DEX customer, it asks you if you want to build a DEX file. You answer yes. It then asks if you want to print or spool the invoice. For this example, you go ahead and print a copy of the invoice. If the ticket prints out properly, answer yes. The computer automatically goes to the DEX mode. You'll see the command, "Press Send" when ready. At this point, you must connect your computer to the store's DEX system. Your computer comes with a special DEX cable. Plug the flat connector into the bottom of your computer and the other end into the store's DEX system. Then press Send. The computer will instantly transmit the invoice to the customer's computer. You will see this message indicating that the transmission was successful. At this point, you can unplug from the system while you review the order with the store's receiving clerk. You may also need to unplug to let other vendors do their own DEXing. By the time the receiving clerk validates your invoice, the customer's computer should be ready to send a confirmation that it has processed and accepted your invoice. Plug your computer into the DEX system again and select Receive. Your computer will display the invoice and customer's acknowledgement. You've finished your route, but you're not through with your day. When you get back to the office, you have to do several things. You must put together an order for your next delivery day, close out all the day's transactions, a process we call check-in, and transmit, or TCOM, the information to Mission Foods. At the main menu, where we started the day, select Load. Then from the inventory menu, select Order. The first thing to do is specify the date for the order, the date you'll pick up the load. Tap the calendar icon in the upper right corner of the order screen. This brings up a calendar which shows your next available order days, highlighted in green. The computer will allow you to order a maximum of 7 days in advance. Select the day you want with your stylus, then tap OK. From this point, you simply follow the familiar process of entering product codes and quantities. Note that the screen only allows you to order in case quantities. That's because the warehouse handles orders only in cases. When you finish, tap Accept. Then key in your password as requested. The computer will print out a load request and ask you to verify it. If it is correct, tap Yes, and you're done. The computer returns to the inventory menu. Tap Exit to return to the main menu. Once you have finished your order, you can close the day. To do that, select the Check-in option from the main menu. The Unload Fresh, Damaged, and Stales options are there to use to unload unsellable products. If you've created the necessary tickets during the day, the computer will already have this information. You simply accept each report. When you select Accept, the computer displays the acceptance screen, also referred to as the settlement menu. The only function on this menu that must be used is Print Settlement. The other three are record-keeping functions that can be useful in running your business. The first step in check-in is to print out a settlement report. To do so, select the Print Settlement function. The settlement report shows the monetary value of the inventory you started with in the morning, the product you loaded, sales, returns, and so on. If all the numbers agree, you should see a zero balance at the bottom of the report, but this is not mandatory. The computer is a sales tool, not an accounting system. It won't force you to have a zero balance, and the settlement report has no effect on your billing. As a part of the check-in, the computer will also generate a customer sales report, showing sales for each location, a ticket summary showing every transaction that was run through the computer on this day, and a check register showing all the checks and cash payments you recorded. Once you've accepted all the reports generated by the check-in process, you must transmit this package of information to Mission Foods. We call this process TCOM. It's the last step in the day and the most critical. To begin, place the computer in its cradle. Check the indicator light on the computer to make sure that the cradle is sending power to it. This is important because the computer's batteries do not provide enough power for TCOMing. When you're hooked up, select the Transmit Data option from the main menu. From the Transmit Data screen, select TCOM. The rest of the process is automatic. Your handheld computer will immediately contact the computer at Mission Foods through the wireless network and transmit your sales information to it. When the process is complete, you'll see this message, Telecom Success. Select Exit and you're done for the day. One thing to remember, you must TCOM every day in order to make sure your computer has up-to-date product, price, and promotion information. In case you have difficulty with your TCOM, call technical support right away. Call them as soon as possible. Remember, you must TCOM every day to make sure your computer has accurate, updated information. For the computer, the main maintenance item is battery replacement. Virtually all other maintenance operations should be done only when you have a technical support person on the phone to guide you. To replace the battery in the 700 computer, flip it on its back and pull the hand strap back just a little so you can see this latch. Push down this tab and rotate the battery out of the well. Put the new battery in, rotate it in position, and latch it into place. The printer requires very little maintenance. Usually, the only two maintenance tasks are to replace the batteries, a once-a-year job at most, and keeping the inside of the printer free of dust. For routine cleaning, get a can of compressed air and use it every few days to blow out the dust. To replace a battery, release the clip holding it in and unplug it. Replacement batteries are available from Mission Technical Support. While you're waiting for delivery, you can run the computer and printer off your truck's electrical system. But what happens if you plug the DC cord into the truck's cigarette lighter and still don't have power? You may have blown a fuse in the cigarette lighter cable. Unscrew this end and carefully lift it out. You'll see an ordinary 5-amp fuse that you can buy almost anywhere. You'll find these and other maintenance and troubleshooting instructions in your handheld computer user's guide. Study it carefully. And at any time, if you have problems or questions, don't hesitate to call technical support. They're here to help you 24/7. Above all, treat the computer and printer for what they are, important tools in your business, your two best friends on the job. The key to your success as an independent distributor for Mission Foods is your ability to manage inventory, paperwork, and cash flow. These things depend on your ability to understand the settlement. Basically, the settlement is a determination of how much you make for a week. To run your business efficiently and profitably, it is important to know how to read and understand the settlement report. Every day you're required to TCOM your sales invoices to Mission Foods. And every day you must follow up with the corresponding paperwork, including cash invoices. Mission Foods processes that information and sends you a settlement report. It is a statement showing how much Mission Foods owes you or how much you owe Mission Foods. As a distributor, your business is based on buying products from Mission Foods and selling them to your customers, the stores on your route. You buy product from Mission at the same price your customers buy it from you. Your income is derived from the margin discount Mission Foods allows you. The settlement report includes 2 documents. Let's start with the weekly account summary. This lists your total purchases, sales, expenses, along with the total balance for the week. The heading at the top shows your name and number and the period the report covers. The first section of the summary shows your potential gross profit for the week. Gross meaning before expenses. This distributor purchased $10,000 worth of product for that week. His margin discount, 16%, is shown in this column. Therefore, his potential income for the week, his margin, is $1,600, 16% of $10,000. Notice the minus sign. The minus sign next to a number on this report represents an expense. A number without a minus sign represents income. Obviously, buying product is an expense, so this figure has a minus sign next to it. Every so often, Mission Foods will promote a product by authorizing an allowance, that is, a discount on selected items. This allows stores to sell those items at a lower price for a specified time. In other words, to put those items on sale. The number below total margin on purchases shows the margin discount on promotions, as you don't make discount on promotion dollars. The sum of all margin discounts on promotions is subtracted from the gross margin, leaving a total margin discount, the figure shown here. The next portion of the summary compares your total purchases of the product for the week against your gross sales. Understand that the gross sales number is derived from the invoices you TCOM'd in. The example shows that the distributor put $10,000 worth of product on his truck and sold almost all of it. His gross sales, again based on his invoices, totaled $9,500. The report shows that he has $500 in inventory still on the truck. That's why, in this example, truck inventory has a minus sign next to it. He hasn't sold this product yet, but he still must pay Mission Foods for it. That's why it's wise to create an invoice for cash transactions. If a cash transaction is not invoiced, it won't be processed and the system will overstate your truck inventory. For example, let's say that this distributor did $1,000 worth of cash business during the week. but he did not invoice those transactions. Therefore, they were not included in his settlement that week. As a result, his truck inventory shows an extra $1,000 in product still on the truck when in fact it has already been sold. This brings up another point. It is tempting to put cash payments in your pocket, but that's not a good idea. Why? Because it is all too easy to spend cash or to lose track of it. Keep in mind that money from sales is not income. Your income is the money Mission Foods pays you back based on your margin discount. And this is affected by any money you keep from cash sales. The cash sales you report show up in this section of the account summary, along with miscellaneous adjustments. Adjustments may include returns if you had to bring back any of the damaged or stale items from the stores. The cost of stales come out of your pocket. Other expense items may include the rental of your handheld and printer, a share of the lease on the warehouse, or your participation in the optional group vehicle insurance plan. Now, we have the information to calculate the total margin discount. By applying the deductions or credits for truck inventory and total adjustments to the total margin discount, we come up with the total new settlement for the week. This is your actual profit for the week. Without careful management, though, it could be a minus number, a loss. The account summary concludes with a line item showing any payments still owed to Mission Foods from the previous week, a total of the cash and checks sent to Mission Foods for that week, and the final balance. In this example, the distributor had a good week. After expenses, he has a positive net margin, as shown here. And he has no previous balance to be taken care of. Therefore, he'll be receiving a check for this amount. But what if he bought too much product or had to absorb the cost of too many stales? What if he neglected to turn in invoices for his weekly sales and did not get credit for them? Factors like these can hit the bottom line and turn settlements from profits to liabilities, money that you must pay to Mission Foods. Mission Food wants to give you all the necessary information you need to better manage your business. That's why the settlement report includes this detailed report, a breakdown of all your purchases and sales for the week. Every load, every invoice processed through our system for every customer. The detail report group transactions by day for each day of the week. It aligns each one with its invoice date, number, and customer. It indicates cash or credit sales, shows if you placed product on the shelf or returned it, quantity sold or returned, the gross amount of sales, cost of returns, your share of promotions, and your net margin. The first section of the detail report gives you the details of all your purchases from Mission Foods. It will give you the date, invoice number, dollar amount, and margin for each invoice. If you returned any product to the warehouse, it will be listed here after the purchases. The second section shows details of every invoice for each day of the week. Along with the date, invoice number, store name, and store number, it will show whether that customer is on cash or credit terms. If it's a cash customer, you will find a C here. A blank space means credit. It shows the type of transaction, N for invoice, RT for return, or BB for buyback. Other details here include the dollar amounts for gross sales, returns, promotion allowance, net, and margin impact. The third section of the report summarizes all those invoice details with separate lines for cash and credit transactions. The fourth section lists contain all the information regarding the payments you have made to Mission Foods. And the fifth section is a listing of unprocessed invoices. These will be invoices that you have TCOM'd but have not followed up with actual paperwork. These are invoices for which you have not received credit. In other words, money waiting to be paid to you. If you have any questions about the totals shown on your account summary, you will most likely find the answers in the detail report. By studying it, you can also learn how to more profitably manage your inventory and purchases. If you need help understanding and using the information in these reports, contact your settlement accounting clerk at Mission Foods. The SAC will look at your numbers and provide you with expert advice. But we can't analyze numbers we don't have. That's why, again, it is a very good idea to invoice all your sales, cash and credit, through the handheld. And that's about it. Understanding your settlement report is very important, and as you've seen, it is also very easy. But if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call your Mission Foods Route Settlement representatives. Like everyone else at Mission Foods, they're here to help you succeed.